Order. I would ask that any councillor declare pecuniary interest in the general nature thereof for this special meeting. And I would also ask, and I shall do it as I speak, that your cell phone will be put on vibrate or turned off. Having said that, item 3.1, Recreation Parks and Facility Manager Staff Report regarding the RFP for the Events and Market Pavilion. Mr. CAO.
So just a little bit of a background on this project. And so in late 2016, early 2017, there was a vision to complete Centennial Park. And part of that was the rehabilitation of the outdoor rink, create a events and market pavilion venue with restrooms, multi-purpose room, also a splash pad and upgrades to the playground. Due to the costs and our financial, position at that point, council decided that they'll phase the project, and as you know, we've had that successful project of the splash pad opened on July 1st of last year, Canada's 150th birthday, and of course there was upgrades to the playground. This year through the budget process, council approved going forward with the events and market pavilion. We have submitted applications to a number of different organizations, that being NOHFC, pending official approval, FedNor, pending approval, the Ontario Trillium Fund. We were denied our application for $150,000. We of course received approval on $50,000 on the Accessibility Fund. And then there's the municipal cash portion and municipal in-kind portion. So we embarked on the tender process, and the tenders came in on Thursday of last week. There was one submission, and within the report, which I'm sure you've all read in detail, you will see that submission came in above projection. So where we're at this point, to move forward with the project, we're looking at an increase in the cash contribution. In kind would remain the same. The recommendation before you is from staff, that we're recommending the council provide direction to staff to negotiate with the only bidder to seek cost savings in the project. We believe from a staff perspective that there's one portion of the project in particular that is overpriced, and we want clarification, and we'd like to renegotiate.
Councillor Barry.
Can you move that up a little bit higher where you just put it down? Can you put it back up there for a minute, please? Sure. Okay, the top two there you're talking about says approval pending.
Correct.
Have you heard anything more since you wrote this thing, or is this?
No.
There's still no money, no guarantee of money in that there NOHFC, it's still waiting for somebody to approve it, right? Is that?
NOHFC, I'll state again, we're waiting for official word.
Okay, and another one too. So the FedNor 2, you're still waiting?
FedNor is still in phase 2, and we're waiting a decision on that, official or unofficial.
So really there's an awful lot of money that they've given us, sort of that we got your project, they may like it, they may not, we don't know, but there's no actual real dollars in those first two that I read. And then the third one is definitely you're not getting it. And the cheap one for $50,000 has been approved. The bulk of it's coming out of the municipality, is how I read that, if these other top two don't give us nothing. Like, we don't know. Like, there's a lot of unknown in actually getting money there. So I have a question mark on that big time. I mean, we've given a nice contribution. The bottom two is what we figured at one time we felt comfortable with, but with these other two, $600,000 that they're still trying to make up their mind whether they're going to give it to us or not give it to us, kind of scares me, because if they don't give it to us and if we go ahead with a project, you know, we're going to be hooked at trying to find some more money for $600,000, and then that'll go back to the taxpayers again. That's my question on that one.
And was there a question? Or
Yeah,
was that a
I just
statement?
question, if we don't have the money, you were talking about going along and going forward and everything with it. You know, I thought we were moving forward if we had funds provided to us, not just our funds and our people. And the way I'm reading that today is that the bottom two objects are what we had approved that we could afford and put into that, plus our people. Then the next one up, 50,000, is approved. And then after that, they're just all, well, one's denied, for sure that 150's gone. The top two biggies up there, $600,000, they're still sitting on the fence. They haven't told you yes, or they haven't told you no. That's the way I read that. And if they say no, then there's another $600,000 to pick up, and that'll be our maybe too. So then we'll be doing, you might as well say, the whole project, except for $50,000. So the only real cash that you've got, like you read up there, besides ours, is the $50,000 that's been approved by the accessibility group.
Correct.
$600,000 is a big portion that they haven't made up their mind on yet.
Correct, and I'll just state again that the only official money that is approved, official, is the Enabling Accessibility Fund of $50,000.
And I don't think this report is whether or not we're going ahead with this. It's whether or not to give our staff permission to go and talk to the contractor and say, can we cut this price? Then we can come back and make a decision on whether or not we're going ahead.
Okay, I'd like to see further down, because I thought I had more than one decision to make. I thought I had some options here, besides just go back and tell them to go ahead. I thought I had some alternative things there to look at too, besides just telling them, having our staff go back and tell them to.
Correct. So other alternatives, which we do with all staff reports, provide a recommendation, and there's alternatives for council to consider. And those are accept bid as presented.
Yep.
We're not recommending that, but that's an option. Do not proceed with the development of the Events and Market Pavilion, an option. Re-advertise, and then utilize, these avenues for advertising an RFP. And then below that there were some options that were part of the submission, but there were options. So we tagged that on to the alternatives. So if you decided to accept that bid as presented with the addition of the last two items, the retractable curtain and the metal clad end walls, that would be an add-on to the official submission.
So that's more price to it.
Potentially correct.
Councilor Goodwin.
I guess the only questions I've got is they're together, sort of. But are we not smart to have a time limit on the renegotiation? And can we not inform that at this time it will be re-advertised, like all at once, so that there's a little bit of pressure for them to get serious? I don't know if that's.
Oh yeah, I don't think that would be a problem at all.
Our intent, depending on the direction of council, would be immediately the construction development coordinator and our facilities manager would immediately contact the submission, the company, and start that right away. Because if this is going to be realized in 2018, things need to move quick.
Councilor Mayor?
That's my next question. Is there a great big hustle now to start rushing it to get done in 2018. Could it not be maybe searched out for, I don't know, like I don't know, maybe other companies involved in handing in a tender, or have you tapped all the places that might be able to, if you said only one came back to you, is there any other places? I'm just wondering if maybe because of the timing, if we could slow it down a bit and look at it in 2019.
So that would be, if I'm understanding.
Because you got no money, you got $600,000 there that we don't know if it's coming or going or not. It's all municipal dollars. The worst case scenario is all municipal dollars except for 50,000 that you're sure of. And that means, and if we have to do another $600,000 loan or borrow somehow for that money, saying it's not going to be approved, and with an election this year and a change of powers to be out there that we've already talked to, maybe, it sounds like we don't know if it's going to be approved or not. So why rush it for this year? Why not know who the players are and go back to the table and get it in 2019?
We know who the players are. We put it out.
Yes.
And there's one company that's interested in doing it for this year. What we're asking from a staff perspective is council want to provide us direction to renegotiate with the only bidder. If we renegotiate, then we can come back to the table, we can have these further discussions.
I don't think there's any suggestion here
This year
that
is
we're
not.
going ahead with this without that $600,000.
It'll be coming back to the table after the infrastructure department does some more research. That's what you're telling me. It'll come back to see if he's got it lower in price. Is that what you're saying? A different tender type thing?
What we're saying is.
You know it's over
we're-
budget. Like it was over what you wanted.
What we're asking, again, is for direction to renegotiate with the only submission, the only company. That's what we're asking for today. That's our recommendation. If prices would have come in lower, we'd have a different conversation.
Go ahead.
Just a couple of questions. In regards to the timeline of the funding, potential funding, would there be an expiry date on the funding? So, for example, let's say FedNor comes through, we have to spend that money by a certain in this fiscal year, do we know how that typically works?
Well, you follow, so in our submission, we gave like project timelines. And I don't know, but our timelines would be that the project would be done by October 30th. That it would be done this year. So if we received approval, we would go back to whatever funding agency and request an extension that perhaps we're looking at doing it in 2019.
So that being said, if we go back to the original company that has bid it, we're going to go back and recommendation to go back and renegotiate the bid. If they don't move on that, or they stay concrete with their number, can we re-advertise for a bid again?
Yes, we can retender, yeah.
So maybe we should make that part. Is that part of this, or is that something different?
It's part of the alternatives at this point. So we would speak to the company, and let's say they don't, we would report that back to council, and then we make the decision on what our next steps are. Correct. Correct.
And my last question, any idea or flavor as to when you think we may hear about the funding from FedNor, especially?
I suspect it's been in the system some time, and we've been putting pressure. Our expectation is that we will hear within the next 30 days on FedNor.
Okay. Well, I agree with the staff recommendation. That's my opinion. Go back, renegotiate, bring that back, and if they don't move forward on that, I would be happy to put a retender out to see if any more companies come through.
And I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, Mr. Zingaro, but historically, we've had very good luck extending deadlines for them. provincial and federal grants.
Correct.
Never been a real problem. We may even get a chance to reapply to Trillium
Yes.
because she was going to get a hold of us.
And within the staff report as well, we reached out to an industry partner and was looking for their support as well.
To replace that 150.
Correct.
Councilor Goodwin?
So we'll, just recommend that we do a motion or what do we
Accept
have?
the staff report.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's for Monday. Actually, no, or the week after.
We would, it would be our goal at the latest to bring it back to council for the council meeting on the 18th.
Okay.
Today's 6, right? P-Day. Any further discussion or questions? Hearing none. Moved by Councilor Mona, seconded by Councilor Goodwin. Resolved that the Council of the Corporation of the Municipality of Red Lake hereby approves the Recreation, Parks and Facilities Manager Staff Report number 2018-01 regarding the Events and Market Pavilion Project bid renegotiation. All in favor? Carried. So, 3.2, declare property as surplus and available for sale to Ian Partridge and Meredith buyers. That's that piece again up on Farrington Road that we had spoke about a few years ago with, I believe it was Mr. Leachite at that time. And then he never followed through. He sold the property to Mr. Partridge. And now we're finally finalizing that, or hoping to finalize that sale, I guess. Any questions or comments?
I just wanted to.
Go ahead,
I just wanted to ensure that all their legal responsibilities, lawyers are on their dime and nothing to do with us.
That is
I
correct.
think, didn't they cover that in there? I thought, but maybe not.
Yeah, it's covered in number 5, other, where it says the parties are responsible for all costs associated with the transaction. And it's also covered off in the bylaw as well.
That is.
Anything else? Okay, hold on to your seats. Moved by Councilor Barron, seconded by Councilor Mona. Whereas the Council of the Corporation of the Municipality of Red Lake adopted resolution number 195-14 on July 21st of 2014, declaring Part 1 of Plan 23R 12250 as surplus to municipal requirements and available for sale to Ernest Leachite. And whereas it is deemed necessary to rescind resolution 195-14, now, therefore be it resolved that the Council of the Corporation of the Municipality of Red Lake hereby declares the following property surplus to municipal requirements and available for sale to Ian Partridge as follows. Number 1, legal description. Part 1 of Plan 23R 12250. Number 2, property classified as limited marketability surplus land. Number 3, appraisal prepared by the corporation. Number 4, the selling price, $1,100 plus applicable taxes. And number 5, Ian Partridge and Meredith buyers are responsible for all costs associated with the transaction. Property to be consolidated with Part 12 of KR 1727 Farrington Road. Be it further resolved that resolution number 195, the original resolution -14, be rescinded. All in favor? I can read any more of that. Carried. Moved by Councilor Goodwillie, seconded by Councilor Mona. Resolved that the council of the Corporation of the Municipality of Red Lake hereby considers bylaw number 42-2018 as read without amendment for debate a first and second time. All in favor? Moved by Councillor Barron, seconded by Councillor Moda. Resolved that the Council of the Corporation of the Municipality of Red Lake consider bylaw number 42-2018 as read a third time and passed. Any questions or comments at this time? Hearing none, all in favor? Carried. Moved by Councillor Goodwillie, seconded by Councillor Moda. Resolved that the Council of the Corporation of the Municipality of Red Lake adjourns a special open meeting at 1:21 p.m. All in favor? Carried. Thank you.